Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. It is hump day, and we are 78 days, 6 hours, 28 minutes away from kickoff against the Philadelphia Eagles. And there's a report out here that could be bad by Albert Breer on Shavon Revel. Shavon Revel, you might remember, was coming back from an ACL injury. Basically, last September, he tore his ACL. Had he not tore his ACL, he might have been the first or the second cornerback taken. So we're talking about a young guy, who didn't play football since last September, who's been rehabbing his knee since then. And what Albert Breer, this is what he posted on here. He's really interesting. It doesn't always work out. That is drafting guys with injury history, and that's one of those things that I have been. I hate. I always say, give me somebody that's healthy. The Cowboys, they always like to take flyers on players that have injuries. Remember, Damone Clark had his back fused. He's been an okay player, but I'm not sure that he's been great. Jalen Smith, he had one really good year for us, but the drop foot has always been there. He's still in the league, but his career is not where it should have been. Morris Claiborne, the glass man, he literally stayed injured. He had a broken elbow when we moved up in the draft to take him, or wrist issues with it. Sean Lee, knee injuries. Leighton Vander Esch, neck problems. So those injuries never went away and shortened and definitely did not bode well for the Cowboys. This low risk, high reward just has not panned out the way you would think it would be, as opposed to drafting a guy that's just healthy. He's got a little bit of a setback with his knee. I think he'll be okay. He would have been fighting to be on the first cornerback taken if he hadn't gotten hurt. Apparently, this setback wasn't like it was this week or something with the Cowboys. They say that this setback was kind of pre-draft, so he's been working through that to get himself back on the field. The Cowboys, of course, have great doctors and things that have been working with him and so on. There was thought that he was probably going to start on the PUP list for training camp at the very least, and not sure when he would be available or ready to play. My whole thing is you're not talking about somebody who played last year, except in September. So you're talking about a rookie coming back from an ACL, and we know that an ACL, it's really year number 2 before you really get back to being comfortable, and you're going from the college ranks to the pros. Now, to make this situation worse is Jair Alexander, who was a free agent out there, who you could have signed possibly as a fill-in piece on a prove-it contract, has now signed with the Baltimore Ravens with a Lamar Jackson who looks awful skinny. He looks almost anorexic skinny. So the Cowboys missed out on that opportunity, although I believe that Jair Alexander was probably too much for the Cowboys to have in training camp after the way he kind of burned us, taking care of CeeDee Lamb in the playoffs, blanketing him and frustrating him from Jump Street. I believe that Stephon Gilmore is their ace in the hole, the guy that they believe that they can sign right at training camp dirt cheap, and can step in and definitely add some depth to the roster. Right now, the Cowboys are looking at 2 cornerbacks that'll be key on the season now that are coming back from knee injuries, one being Trayvon Diggs, who the team is not happy about as far as his rehab work, who's done all his rehab work away from the Cowboys, and, of course, Savon Revel. So we are going to be thin starting early in the season at cornerback, and I think we're definitely going to need some help. So that's where we are right now. Like I said, I just got back to the man cave here. I have not, surprisingly, heard from Dan Cilio about being on the show today. So I guess maybe we're not going to go on today. and I'm scratching my poison ivy like crazy. Yeah, shit itches. I was a dummy, and usually poison ivy doesn't mess with me and stuff, but I was down there working on that flower bed and that wall, and literally all into the damn poison ivy, and that shit is driving me crazy. All right, good people. Any other breaking news? We'll be sure to come back and bring it to you. Nothing, of course, on the Micah Parsons situation. Micah, no movement, and probably we shouldn't expect anything till probably once they get to training camp and get that thing settled. All righty, good people. As always, I appreciate y'all, and I'd rather have no news than have news like this to bring to you. Peace out.